That's
Also,
real.
in terms of just settling any kind of disagreements.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're married, you're not able to leave. I can't go back to my apartment.
Right.
I have to stay there. And I don't want to be walking around with an attitude.
Yeah.
So having to be humble and like swallow my pride and bring my issues to God was something new for me. And even if I was in the bathroom crying to God, I would cry and then do what I have to do, which is face the situation. And the Lord always worked it out. So just seeing how God's hand worked in the relationship was so powerful to me because I didn't have any role models. I'm not a single parent. I never got to see how couples ended arguments. I can, of course, see how arguments happen, but I never got to see how they ended and who approaches who.
Who fixes what?
Who fixes it, you know? It's like, we can be mad for a whole month. So I had to decide to say, it doesn't matter how he is behaving. Like, that has nothing to do with how I choose to behave.
That's real.
And that took a lot of growth, but we're so much better now because I think, you know, he's also seen that humility and it also impacts how he treats me as well. And it's gotten a lot.
I love that. Because what you said is so real. Like even your style, like how different people have different styles of resolving things. Because even for me, if I'm irritated, I get quiet. Because I need to process, right? I'm like, I need to think about what happened. You know, where did I play a role? Or is this all your fault? And my husband is like, let's talk through it. And I'm like, I don't want to talk right now. I want to be quiet and process. And he's like, so are we over this? I'm like, I'm not sure yet. I am processing and you are interrupting my processing time. And it's like finding that compromise of like, okay, let's talk about this and let's laugh. And, you know, he's a very like, come on, babe. Like, because for him, nothing is an argument. We are just having we're talking it out.
Right.
And I'm over here pouting like, you know, but that's real. That's real.
Yeah. And it's like no one's way is right or wrong.
Yeah.
It's different. And just your thinking can't be too long.
Right. Because I'll be over there. Because to your point, right? Like when you're used to like being independent, I could think all day with the Lord. I could be like, 12 p.m. So God, this happened. 6 p.m. What do you think, God?
Right, right.
But now you're with someone who's like, look, 3 p.m. we got lunch.
Exactly.
So you need to speed this up.
You can't have any resentment about it.
Nothing.
You have to just drop it and move with it. So. How do you deal with conflict in your marriage?
These days, I realize that I'm a person that becomes flooded really easy with a lot of emotion. And so I have to, and because language and words are actually really important to me, if we have a conflict, I have to take a step back. I have to take sometimes it's a couple days. And I mean this literally, I have to do an evaluation of what's happening. Because what I don't like to do is put something on you that has more to do with me. So if there's a conflict and you're really tap dancing on my insecurity, but instead of admitting it's my insecurity I need to work through, I blame you. That's not fair. And I try to be very conscious about not doing that. So in my marriage, I do that as well. Like something's bothering me. I need to take a day or two and I got to evaluate what's happening for me. Is this a my issue? Is this a his issue? Or is this an us issue? And then I can come back and say, okay, so the other day this happened and we use words literally like the narrative I'm telling myself is very powerful in saying like, you did this and the narrative I'm telling myself about that is you don't care about me. That you didn't see me, that I was, those are triggers for me, that I didn't matter. My opinion didn't matter to you. And he's able to say, no, this is this and this. So I can check myself. And I know that's my insecurity. It's a very sensitive insecurity. And if I can say, oh, that's a me issue, but I want to at least tell him like, this is the narrative that this is what happened for me, then he can correct it in a way like, no, that girl, that ain't happened at all. Like, this is what was going on. I'm like, say, oh, okay, good. And we can move on, That's
good. But you do have to definitely be very self-aware to be able to do that. Was that self-awareness something that came through therapy?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so you think therapy is important.
Absolutely. Therapy, podcasts, books like Marriage Be Hard. Because I just enjoy self-work. I really do. I'm very much like, tell me all the things so I can work on it. Like, that's just
I'm
how
like
I
that
am.
too.
So
I'm the same way.
I have a love-hate relationship with it, though.
Really?
Yes, the love that I have, I love growth. Okay, so I love to be able to have this conversation, and like, I mean this like no exaggeration. Like, these are literal. Like, it drives my husband crazy actually, because he's like, I want to talk about it right now, and I'm like, I'm not ready to talk about it because I don't want emotion to overtake me, and now I'm blaming you and yelling and all of these things, and I don't really mean it. Like, I got to take some time out. He can't stand it. So like, I literally do that. But with the self-help, it allows me to do that. But what I hate about it is I have a hard time appreciating the greatness and the goodness that lies in me, because I feel like I'm always concentrating on the flaws.
I see. So when you did therapy then?
Oh,
right?
yes.
And did you do that because you were trying to figure out the flaws? Or was there something that maybe happened?
No, for flaws.
Okay. You were looking for it.
Yeah. I'm always looking for like, oh, so I do this and I don't like it, fix me.
I see.
I do this and I want to change it. So what can I do? Like, I'm always very much about like, point out my flaws and I'm going to work on it. And which is good because it promotes growth, and I love growth. The bad part about it is hard for me to point out, recognize, sit in greatness.
Which is important.
Girl, it's equally as important.
It's equally as important.
And I lean too much into the flawed Melissa and not the goodness and the greatness and the things that I do well part of me.
Well, I think it's something, again, I have that same issue. But I think what I learned from that is that you can easily become your own idol when you start to do that, because you're putting so much energy into me and you're not giving enough space for God to do the things that you can't do through you, and focusing on trying to fix yourself. And so it's something I think just being aware of, like, not always evaluating and checking and fixing yourself, and allowing yourself to make mistakes and have that grace that you've been given, and allow yourself to make those mistakes, and it's okay. It makes you human, and it's necessary for you to be a human and not become something created that you created. Right. But going back to what you said about your arguments, or not arguments, but going back to what you said about having conflict, you said sometimes you sit in it, right?
Yeah.
But when you think about the idea that the word says not to let the sun go down on our anger, and you said you're thinking about it for days, how is that,
Girl, I have thoughts on this. You ready for it?
I sure do.
All right. So I believe that going to bed in the midst of a heated argument and not dishonoring your husband or your marriage is more important than staying up all night cussing and fussing at each other. I really do. I think you have to realize when this is an argument that is going nowhere today.
Well, okay. So my thoughts on what you said is the caveat of anger, right? So I think it would be okay not to talk about it if you're not angry still.
Girl.
Because and you know what? This is something that I've experienced on a personal level where I felt like the Lord was dealing with me, because again, it's like the word is written, but there are consequences built into not following the word. And I remember being really upset to where I couldn't even get myself to not be angry anymore. I was genuinely angry. And again, I was hurt because it was something that was really an insecurity that he had pressed in on. And I wasn't ready to come back and talk about it. But I ended up getting sick the next day. I ended up getting a cold. And I really believe that was because I allowed the enemy to infiltrate, because I wasn't under the protection of God's word in terms of dealing with that situation.
Yeah,
it's hard.
It is hard. I think that I'm in a different space. I really am. So I even like saying that you got sick. I'm just like, girl, I don't know that God is petty in that. You know what I mean?
I don't think God got me sick.
Oh, okay.
I think I opened the door to that.
Oh, girl, I was like, girl,
No,
I don't know.
God doesn't get people sick.
I was like, girl, I don't know. But I do feel like, I personally, because there are, again, especially if you're a person like me, I become very flooded, okay? And it takes me, I need a moment to filter through thoughts and emotions to talk coherently so we can have a conversation that makes sense, okay? Sure. And I'm not like word vomiting. With that said, I'm not a thrower, but if you're one of those people that saw dysfunction growing up, you might become so flooded in a moment where anger takes over in a way that's unhealthy. You got to step away. You do. And I think sometimes what I'm not suggesting is that you don't resolve it, right? I think sometimes you can go to bed and I actually should research this because now I'm having a lot of different thoughts about like, what does this scripture actually mean? But I think I think my goal is to honor my marriage. My goal is to honor my husband. And in the moment of a heated exchange, if you are angry, you can say things that you cannot take back. For me, go to bed.
So I think, and I 100% agree with you. I think what I'm trying to say is that I agree with you. But the anger part, in terms of getting yourself not to be angry before you go to bed, that's what I was talking about.
Okay, so you're saying angry in a way of
like,
you don't have to resolve it,
right?
Okay, but you can be
bringing your anger down before you sleep.
Okay, got it. Where I'm not angry at my spouse,
where you're just not angry.
Oh, okay, then I'm with it.
That's what I meant.
Okay, so what I heard you say and what you said was different. What I was hearing you say was, I can't be angry at my spouse. I can't be angry at the situation. Like you got to calm yourself down. Yeah. You know, I do get that. But like I've gone to bed. That's what I should say. I have gone to bed with issues unresolved. I've gone to bed with issues that still bothered me. I've gone to bed with my husband. Don't touch me tonight.
I'm sleeping back to back.
I'm feeling away. Don't touch me tonight. And to me, that's okay as long as whatever happened gets resolved. Because I think the ultimate goal is that you don't allow things to go unresolved and resentment builds up. To me, that's the issue. And you don't want to say things in a moment of anger that you can't take back. Because once it's said, it's said. I can't unhear it. You can't unsay it. So step away. Step away. Step away.
Agreed. How do you deal with conflicts in your marriage?
That's a good question. As they come, I pick my battles because sometimes it's not worth it. You know, I've been married for 21 years. Wow. So it's like you learn to really pick your battles and you learn how to navigate through the seasons of your marriage because we're not always at a 10. We're not always happily married. There's some times where I'm like, what did I do? You know? And that's okay. And that's normal as long as you learn how to navigate through these seasons together.
You're so right because with the divorce rate being so high, I think a lot of times what happens is people do have those thoughts and don't realize that they're normal. Like,
yeah,
oh, I can't believe I married this person. In that moment of anger or frustration.
Sure.
And that thought just keeps seeping and seeping and seeping.
And you have to, that can't keep seeping.
And it can't.
No.
It can't. And understand that this is a situation, but that's what you're doing. You're growing together and you're learning together.
Absolutely. And it's so fun.
It is fun.
We're in the stage in our marriage where our kids are older. We have a 17-year-old and a 13-year-old. So they're kind of doing their thing a little bit. My daughter's driving and we're like, okay, so what do we do? We have fun.
Yes.
You know, and it's, you know, but it's not always like that. But like just navigate through those seasons, embrace them, and talk to each other and communicate all the time. When you stop communicating and losing each other, that's when you get into trouble.
You're still right about that. How do you deal with conflict in your relationship?
I'm a pretty head-on person.
Okay.
If something feels weird, I'll just tell the person right then and there.
Okay.
Because it'll really bother me. It'll like fester at me. So I just have to say, like, why'd you do that? Like, somebody else literally just be like, why did you do that? Like, I'm confused. Like, am I missing something? Like, can you piece it together for me?
Okay.
And it works well.
That's good. That's good.
It works well.
That's good.
I'd rather just like confront and be wrong instead of overthinking it. Cause you know, I can't be an overthinker and I don't want to, I'd rather just free my thoughts and my anxiety of that feeling and
let it be done and over with.
Let it be done and over with.
That's good.
Let it be done and over with.
I have a popular question from the audience.
Ooh, okay.
So you can answer this. How do you not lose yourself in a relationship? If you're dating someone and you're so involved with them and you're just in the clouds or on cloud nine, whatever they say. How do you not lose yourself in that? If you're with them all the time, you're constantly thinking of them, talking to them, and you're thinking about your future, you're just wrapped up in them. What do you do to make sure that you don't lose yourself and completely mesh yourself with this person?
That's such a good question. And I feel like when you love someone, you literally like want to crawl inside of them because you just don't want to separate. Like that's how it feels to be in love. And that's what I have. But this is also, I think, a maturity thing. Keep your friendships intact. It's so important, especially to have women friendships. Okay. Because I know a lot of people like to push this narrative, oh, women are this and that. You're probably the problem. If you don't have girlfriends, you're the problem. I know you're not going to like this answer, but with maturity, trust me, it is so important to have other women around you. It is crucial. Keeping your friendships intact and not losing your personhood. Like my relationship is one thing and my individual personhood is another. Right. And I value that so much. Like we're sort of a package deal, but we're still two different people. So I still try to cherish and hold on to things that I like doing on my own. Like I keep a sense of individualism. So like having my own hobbies, alone time with myself. And this is something that I practice every day. So like every morning, I'm usually like doing my morning routine by myself. Cause like Dennis will already have started work. Cause like I said, he gets up 2 hours earlier than me. He's like a morning person. Yeah. But spending time, some peaceful time to yourself is so important. Yeah. And when your friends make plans with you, it's okay to leave the house and follow through. Your man will be fine. So yeah, I think, but keeping your friends is a big one.
I think that's so true. That's so true. A lot of times it's always like, no, I can't. Because you're with your significant other. So
you'll still be there when you get back. You'll be all right.
You'll be all right.
Yeah. You'll be all right. He grown. He can take care of.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Shan here. I'm on Venice Beach with Fine Forever, and we're gonna talk to some fine people about this perfume. We're gonna be doing a smell test of 2911. Let's check it out.
I feel like this is something you would wear actually.
Oh, I would wear this.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
It's like fresh. It's not too strong. I like it.
I'm a yoga teacher, so this is like literally everything for me.
Gives me a very essential oil vibe.
Ooh. I would spray this on a towel and probably fan down my.
You fan down everyone dying at the end of class.
Oh my god, that would be amazing. Pretty sweet.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So like, what do you think the vibe is?
It feels much more like a daytime perfume, kind of just like, I don't know. I think if I was just like hanging out with friends, like going to a brunch or something.
Yeah, that's so crazy because 2 people were just going to brunch and they said the same exact thing. So it's more like a brunch vibe perfume.
Yeah, I would say so. I feel like it's cute for like a good morning out, like right now.
I really like this too, the little
day vibe.
Oh, that's so awesome. Well, we should definitely give you one for free so you could fan down your yoga students anytime.
Oh my god, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, ladies.
I'm so excited.
Oh my god, are you crying?
I could, honestly. It's a good day right now.
It's a good day to cry. I'm crying too.
Good. Thank you so much.
Oh, of course. Thank you.